I'd like to call this meeting of the Executive Committee of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York to order and announce that our first piece of business is to go into executive session to discuss personnel matters, and following that executive session we will reconvene the public session of the committee. So we'll go into executive session now. Would you please excuse us?
Can we turn the cameras off, please?
Will you let me know? Are you all set? I'm happy to call this a meeting of the Executive Committee of the Board of Trustees of the City University of New York back into public session following our Executive Committee discussion. We have two resolutions to consider. I'd like to call on Trustee Loda to present the first.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. City University of New York and resolved that the Board of Trustees appoint Mark V. Shore as interim Senior Vice Chancellor for Budget, Finance, and Financial Policy effective January 5th, 2010, at a salary to be determined by the Chancellor. And be it further resolved that the Board of Trustees waive the application to this appointment of the provision of its Code of Conduct prohibiting a trustee to accept employment with the university for a period of 2 years following his service as a trustee. The explanation, due to the untimely and regrettable death of Vice Chancellor Ernesto Malave, it has left a large and unexpected hole in the university's administration. Fortunately, the university as a trustee, whose background and experience makes him uniquely qualified to step into the breach under these unique circumstances. Mark has served as a trustee of City University since July of 2002. He is currently chairman of the Committee on Facilities Planning and Management and vice chairman of the Committee on Fiscal Affairs. If this resolution is approved, he will resign as a trustee prior to the effective date of his appointment as interim senior vice chancellor for budget, finance, and policy. Mark has served for the last 6 months as a senior advisor to Governor David Patterson. Prior to that, he worked in the private sector at Extel Development. From 2002 to 2006, he served the Mayor Bloomberg's administration as both first deputy mayor and the deputy mayor for operations. Prior to that, he was the executive director and chief operating officer of the MTA. Prior to that, he was the budget director and the commissioner of finance for the city of New York. I'm almost doing this from memory. And prior to that, he served city council as the head of its council finance division. And prior to that, he served the state senate in New York, where he was an advisor to them on both budgetary and taxation policy. Mr. Chairman, I move the motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments, questions? You ready for the question? All in favor say aye. 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 Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Thank you very much. I'd like to call on Trustee Chen.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Resolved that the Board of Trustees approve the promotion of Matthew Sapienza to the position of Associate Vice Chancellor for Budget and Finance effective January 5th, 2010, and the salary to be determined by the Chancellor. Explanation. Matthew Sapienza has provided 21 years of distinguished public service in senior level positions involving budget and financial administration, including 5 years as University Budget Director at CUNY, where he worked closely with the late Vice Chancellor Ernesto Malave on the development of CUNY Compact, 11 years at the New York City Board of Education, where he was promoted to Deputy Budget Director at the public school system, and 5 years as a Senior Budget Analyst for the New York City Fire Department. Following the timely and regrettable death of Vice Chancellor Malave, Mr. Sapienza has worked tirelessly and effectively to handle the university's finances in the current fiscal difficulty facing the state and the city of New York. In recognition of his past and current contributions and his dedication to the university, the Chancellor recommends his promotion to the position of Associate Vice Chancellor for Budget and Finance. Mr. Sapienza joined the City University of New York as a University Budget Director in September 2004. Mr. Sapienza is also responsible for the overall management of $2.6 billion in city and state tax levy operating funds, including over $1 billion in tuition revenues. The management of these funds involve complex interactions among city and state officials in both the executive and legislative branches. The University Board of Trustees, principally through the Committee on Fiscal Affairs, the University's central office, and its 23 institutions. During his tenure as budget director, the university has implemented its innovative CUNY Compact financing strategy, as well as this year's student financial aid initiative. Before assuming his position as university budget director, Mr. Sapienza worked for 11 years at the New York City Department of Education, the last 4 of which he served as the deputy budget director. At the DOE, he was responsible for administrating the school system's $12 billion budget and for being the organization's main liaison with financial oversight agencies. Prior to working at the DOE, Mr. Sapienza worked as a senior budget analyst at in the New York City Fire Department. Mr. Sapienza holds a BBA in finance from Pace University's Lubin School of Business and an MBA in finance from St. John's University. Mr. Chairman, I move this motion.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any comments or questions? Are you ready for the question? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Abstentions? The motion carries. Those 2 items of business conclude the work of this executive committee session, so I'm happy to declare the committee adjourned.